Hi, Tamal. Welcome again to the Business Standard Banking Show. So, this week, again, you have continued with the same theme of the life of a PSU banker. Uh, why have you continued with the same theme, and what more do you have to tell us today?
Yeah, thanks, Ruchika. But yes, it's a very rare thing. I don't do a continuation of the same theme, but here the response was pretty good. I mean, I don't want to use the adjective phenomenal, but bankers from different parts of India, they spoke to me. They sent me text messages. They narrated their stories, some on their parents' stories, some on their children's stories. In fact, when the entire week, I had been through listening to their stories. So I thought, why not culling from their stories and creating? It's not a fictitious diary, but let's talk about what's the kind of work-life balance they do.
Yeah.
And as we speak, I think equally good response this week too.
And a very good way to illustrate, you've talked about a week in a PSU banker's life. And as I read, there were a lot of issues that came up, whether it was the pressure to bring down the NPAs, gold loans, agri credit. So I wanted to know from you that issue-wise, what is the difference between the struggles of a public sector banker vis-a-vis a private sector banker?
First of all, banking is a very different business where you know that they deal with money, your money, my money. It's very critical. No other business, where you need to get a license to be fit and proper. Elsewhere else, it's just the money. I mean, the how much, whether you should, it's a coal mines or telecom. You see the auctions are, anything. Every license has been auctioned, but not in the case of banking. It's the fixed money, which is 500 crore or 1,000 crore, and then you apply, and then you if you are only fit and proper, then you'll get the license. So banking is a very special business. There's a stress associated with this because you are dealing with people's money. Then do we have two sets of banks, private banks and public sector banks? Your question is, what's so special about public sector banks? Yes, there is special because going beyond banking, they need to do many other different things. Now, within banking, of course, there are issues like target pressure of meeting the targets, then off-balance sheet items, and the fee-based income, etc., which are both set of bankers, both private and public, they are subjected to. But then there are a lot of other issues, very nuanced issues. For instance, in a public sector bank, which I did not discuss in my diary, you will find that every bank now have started picking up people from the market. They are given market-related salary, the cost to company basis. They don't get exactly the house and car, etc. But whatever money is given of the equal rank of the a professional, this person gets it, and that's how it's a market. Talent is picked up from the market, but you check with them, those guys who are picked up from the market, working with the public sector, in the public sector with other colleagues. I mean, are they treated in the same way by their colleagues? Certainly not. They find themselves very different. I know of one particular bank was at a very senior level, but he has got the smallest room. He has got a pretty inefficient and the junior most secretary, and so on and so forth. And typically, they're not well looked after in terms of they're not well appreciated by their colleagues. So there's always a tension. And now, as I said, there has been pressure from different quarter to raise, to get people at a senior level, in the sense, and then as you get people, that kind of senior people from the market, those people are not exactly happy, and it creates tension. And then, of course, promotion on the same rank, there's a very intense fight for the promotions. And then, of course, the big elephant in the room is the majority shareholder of the government. I mean, there are always scope. There is always a pressure from different quarters to meet the expectations of the government. You look at PMJDY, which the current government had established, and it's a phenomenal success, basically to bring people under the banking fold. You look at the contribution, the share of public sector banks vis-a-vis private banks, then you'd know what is the kind of pressure the public sector bankers go through.
There all
And then there are other paraphernalia like that, which where the private banks do not need to face, like the parliamentary committees, which I mentioned. Now, the parliamentary committees, when the parliament is not in session, they come, they visit, and it is a sort of, it could be on Hindi, Rajbhasha, it could be on agriculture loan, it could be on priority sector loans, on anything and everything. I may sound a little uncharitable, but often for at least some of the members, it's a sort of holiday and Bharat Darshan.
So there seems to be some political pressure, etc., also that comes as a part and parcel for these public sector banks. We did talk about some solutions, and you said in the last episode about the need for a change in culture in these banks. But is privatization a solution, or what do you think are the solutions to this issue?
I am not very sure whether privatization is a solution, but probably yes. Culturally, I think things will be different. At least in private sector, the culture is different, and if the government takes its shadow out from the banking system, certainly that will be good, because treat you at its business. And as Prime Minister said and Finance Minister has reiterated, the government has no business to be to be running businesses. So if it means that, I think things will change.
But I think there's a long way to go, and solutions will also evolve. Privatization may be one way to achieving some of the cultural change, but probably there's a need for a lot of introspection for the public sector banks and the government. Thank you so much, Tamal, for highlighting these issues and sharing your thoughts.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
I am the blue of the limitless sky. I am the inspiration that led success soar high. I will achieve, I will fly high. I am the I in SBI.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.